So the second set of grounds on which we might evaluate perfect competition is consumers. I mean, ultimately, when we're looking at market structures, we're trying to say, well, yeah, are they efficient? Fine. Are they good? Yeah. So are they good for the economy as a whole in kind of wider efficiency terms? What about consumers? So what is it that we think that consumers care about? Well, we think that there are kind of 3 or 4 things that consumers are probably going to care about. The first thing that we'd expect consumers to care about is price. Yeah, so ideally, consumers want consumer surplus to be as high as it possibly can. And what we'd be thinking in perfect competition is that that should be good news, because we'd be expecting prices to be low, because ultimately we know that we've got very strong levels of price competition, and in the long term, there's also no barriers to entry either. No barriers to entry or exit in the long run. And so therefore, even if prices start to rise, then what's going to happen is that new firms are going to break into the market and drive prices down, and therefore we know that in the long run, prices are driven down, to the minimum point of the average cost curve. However, we did say that that's not. We've got to be slightly careful, because prices might not be as low as you think they're going to be, for 2 reasons. One, there is a lack of scale. So there's a lack of economies of scale. So you might actually get lower prices. Again, if you've got a kind of local corner bread shop delicatessen and they're selling bread, and you've got Tesco on the other, bread's going to be cheaper in Tesco than it is in some artisan bakery, because Tesco has huge scale. And secondly, there's also a lack of dynamic efficiency. So firms in perfect competition, they don't have the profits that would allow them over time to drive down costs further, to reduce prices through innovation. So therefore, although in theory prices are low in perfect competition, in reality they might not be as low as you think they're going to be. What else? What else do consumers care about? Obviously, one of the things that a second thing that consumers are going to care about is they're going to care about choice. So as a consumer, I want to be able to choose from different restaurants, different places, and so on. And perfect competition kind of looks good for choice, on the basis that if we link back to the assumptions, we know there are many sellers. So there are many firms in perfect competition that you can choose from. So therefore, in theory, you've got lots of choice. But as we know, when we look at the reality of perfect competition, your problem is that all products are the same. We have identical products. So I don't really have any meaningful choice at all. I can have any colour I want as long as it's black. So there's no real choice, in the sense that kind of all the products are the same. So on the one hand, kind of I have lots of choice because there's lots of small firms, all of whom I can buy from, but they're all selling the same thing. Thirdly, a thing that consumers are likely to care about, is they're likely to care about quality. Here, probably we've got a problem, on the basis that there is, we're buying on price. So therefore, firms have to minimise costs. We've seen that on the diagram. And that has 2 effects. Firstly, you might say that they look for the cheapest materials that they can find, perhaps. But again, secondly, there is no dynamic efficiency because there's no profits. So again, there's nothing to invest in innovation, into new products, new kind of new types of things, new designs, and so on and so forth. And therefore, what that might mean, is that in reality, quality isn't that great in perfect competition. And the last thing that consumers probably care about is being well informed. So if we look again at the kind of things that we might worry about in a market, if we look looking at information, kind of market failure. We said that one example of market failure is information asymmetry. One good point for consumers in perfect competition, is they can't be tricked. Because of the assumption. Again, we looking at the assumptions. We said there's an assumption, of perfect information. So consumers are fully informed. They know all about the different prices, the different qualities, and so on and so forth. So there is no information asymmetry. So in theory, perfect competition kind of looks good for consumers. Superficially, they get low prices, they're well informed, and they have a wide variety of choice. In reality, maybe prices aren't as low as you think they're going to be. Maybe your choice is actually relatively limited on the basis that firms are all selling the same. There's a danger that because of a lack of profits and a focus on costs, that quality won't be that high, but you are reasonably well informed.